Hello, puppets, it is I, Beelzeboob, literally the devil, kiss, 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 stabby. Yes, I am here in the winter. It is colder than a witch's tit out there, and I have my festive holiday Satan Claus horns on. Yes, it is important to be fashionable, puppets, but I have braved the cold. I don't like the cold, puppets, to talk about this Diablo Immortal debacle. Diablo Immortal is a cell phones only version, ongoing type of game. Some things, it doesn't matter because it's not a PC game. It's not a PC game, and Diablo games are PC games, except for a very crappy console version of Diablo 3 that we just don't talk about. I didn't even finish it. It wasn't very good. But Diablo Immortal is a collaboration with a company named, I believe it is NetEase. It sounds more like a laxative than a computer programming company. But Diablo has joined forces with NetEase to basically make a lot of money in cell phone games while pissing off its existing fan base. And this has caused some controversy. Now, does Beelzeboob care about controversy? No, puppets. Controversy does not matter to moi. But some certain things came out of this controversy. Some bad logic, some poor rhetoric, poor argument that moi would like to address. First of all, this idea that don't you have phones? This idea that because you have a phone, you necessarily are going to be totally on board with this idea of putting a particular video game on your phone, especially after it is leaked that it is possibly, very likely, a pay-to-win video game. Let's think about that. Thinky, stabby. Okay, do we feel better? Yes, have we had a moment to ponder this? Well, first of all, yes, everyone likely has a phone. Because we are all privileged, right? Yes, so the P word, the PP word, oh dear. But we all have some sort of cellular telephone. But it may not be the top of the line cellular telephone, or even a cellular telephone capable of playing modern mobile video games. Why? Because we put our hard-earned dollars into very, very expensive gaming PCs. Because we like to play video games on gaming PCs and not our mobile telephones. So just because we have a mobile telephone does not mean we have a mobile phone capable of playing this game, nor do we want to clutter up the data on said mobile telephone instead of using our phones for what they are intended. Instagram and plenty of pictures of adorable cats and plenty of videos of adorable cats and the occasional dog. Yes, this is how we use our phone. But it didn't stop there, did it, puppets? No. Then we got into this gamers are entitled argument. Here we go again. Beelzeboob would like to set this point of debate aside forever. All right? The buck stops here. You shall not pass. This is why. Let's assume the critics are right. The gamers are entitled. Oh. Well, of course we bloody well are. We're consumers of luxury goods. Would the makers of Tiffany's fine jewelry tell its consumer base that it is entitled? No. But they're spoiled brats. Of course they are. They're buying overpriced baubles to cover up whatever mistake they made this week with their spouse. Now, would the fine manufacturers and makers of luxury automobiles suggest their consumers are entitled? Of course not, even though they very much are. Why? Because their entire marketing ploy surrounds the idea that they are entitled to luxury. Entitlement is a good thing in luxury brands. It means you can afford to throw your money away on useless shit. They are status symbols. That's the whole point. And they would never consider insulting their audience by saying that entitlement is a bad thing, because it will mean they will sell fewer of their useless baubles intended to translate wealth. I am getting a little verklempt here, puppets. I need a bit of a fan. Oh, yes. It is so cold, I'm feeling hot. So cold. Cold flashes. But this is the thing. Are gamers entitled? Well, let's look at the entire market of gaming. Video games are things no one needs to stay alive. We buy them because they make us happy. This is the core idea of a luxury good. So it is very, very, very foolish marketing. It is very, very, very foolish clickbait. It is myopic. Because in the long term, if you keep saying gamers are entitled, they're not going to stop buying video games. No, we enjoy them. They will stop buying your video game, which, if you look at the history of the various game companies that called gamers entitled, well, look it up. It's not pretty. But if you look at the idea that, well, Diablo Immortal, who is it? Blizzard? Yes, Blizzard. It's freezing. But if you look at the way Blizzard handled it, it's not that the announcement was garbage or that the BlizzCon lineup was pathetic. I mean, God, do you remember Bethesda's rollout at E3? It was Andrew WK, a whole bunch of fail, and then Elder Scrolls something coming soon. We've all forgotten about that by now because the wheels of time roll on. Failure is something gamers all kind of laugh at, poke at you, stabby, and then move on. But an outright insult to the consumer base is something completely different, and that is something that gamers don't soon forget. Now, I would like to take the idea away from consumer. Let's take the C word out of our vocabulary. It's a C-bomb. We know what those mean. You only say it around impolite company in times where you're really, really angry. Don't take my word for it. I'm the devil, puppets. I will lead you astray. But let's stop thinking about consumers. Because the only thing a consumer is good for is consuming. Does it matter if we like something? No! And this is the problem. Gamers are currently being treated as consumers, which means no matter how angry we are at you, as long as we buy your garbage, we have completed our end of the contract, and our happiness means not at all. Well, let's go back to that luxury angle, the luxury car. Most luxury cars have extended warranties and customer service things and other things that make it into an experience. It lifts a purchaser of said luxury good out of a mere consumer, which is embodied more by Walmart and Costco than a BMW dealership, and lifts it into the idea of drivers or clientele or whatever fancy, squishy pillow of a word. It is a word intended to wrap them in your warm, welcoming bosom. But it's to make them stop thinking about consuming, because as soon as they start thinking about consuming, they start thinking about how much stupid money they're spending on this luxury car, and perhaps buying a pickup truck is so much better use of money, and it's a lot more macho. That's exactly what they don't want you thinking about. And this is what game companies should not be making its players think about either. You don't want to talk about the money. You don't want us thinking about the money. There was somehow gobbling it up, gluttonous-like. No, you want to think of us as having fun, of having enjoyment. We are fans. We are players. We are little devils, little Diablos. Loco Diablo, something like that. I don't know. I'm not a marketing person. I'm a demon, but something like that. Something that gets us away from the business norms of the raw consumption of whatever we're buying that we don't really need. and into making us think of the enjoyment of the whole thing. And I have no idea why game companies have gotten away from the enjoyment of the thing. Oh, I remember. Because they themselves are miserable. They are scurrying around like some sort of hybrid between a rat and the rad roaches from Fallout, scurrying from one trend to the next so that venture capitalists will continue to throw money at them based on something they read about once in Fortune magazine and never thought about again. So, for years, they scurried after the mobile market. Scurry. And then that sort of flatlined. It wasn't the same. It wasn't the same type of consumer. They wanted to play different sorts of games. And so they found another thing, just scurry, over to VR. Well, VR became the niche that most analysts with a brain recognized it would be. Not that there's anything wrong with that. It is luxury on top of luxury. If you enjoy VR, good for you. I hear there's plenty of porn on it. But now they have scurried back to mobile again. 'Cause it's huge in Japan. You may have noticed the West isn't Japan, and we have very different, not only lifestyle patterns, but commuting patterns and commuting systems, and the mobile gaming market in Japan is all based around that notorious commute on the Japanese trains that we don't have here. We have transit, but yes, there's no Wi-Fi, there's no mobile data signal on most of the time on the subway trains, at least not here. So how exactly is this game going to work? When exactly are people going to play it? On a non-existent commute? No. The gamers who have become fans of Diablo on the PC are not going to migrate over to phones. They're going to find something else to play on their PC, which they have spent a lot of money on already and would like to get use out of it before they have to buy another very expensive graphics card in 2 years. So they'll move on to a competitor or some upstart or some completely different kind of game because they already have the hardware to play it. They don't want to play on a phone. They should not be forced to play on the phone, because the minute they start feeling forced to play something, well, then it's not fun and it defeats the purpose of the whole exercise. They feel kind of gross and go on to something else. This is common sense. Unfortunately, that is often neither. But I've been here enough. I'm freezing. Thank you, Poppets. I have graced you with your presence. Beelzeboob, little devil, kiss, stabby. Signing off.